too, because we're both New York Giants fans. As you can see this on the screen here, my New York Giants license plate here. It's yeah, people gonna say, "Oh, it's just one game, no big deal. You got 16 to go, anything can happen." Dude, this season's already over. Daniel Jones is bad. He had 2 picks or whatever the hell it was, 1 pick 6. I mean, God, it's such a embarrassment. You know, you know, the losing Saquon Barkley didn't bother me at the time it happened because it was expected and understandable why the Giants did it based on where they're at the franchise. But the problem was they decided to commit to Daniel Jones $40 million per season for a guy that had to be put on a leash to be successful. And that was a mistake. You know, you committed $4 million to this guy who you don't even know if you actually trust him as a quarterback. But you can't pay $2 or $3 million more a year to a guy that's not just any running back, dude. Saquon Barkley is special. And again, I wasn't Bob. I mean, defending Saquon doing what the hell he did. Even going to Philadelphia, I defend that because you know what? If they don't want you, you do the hell you want. If the team that you don't want your rights anymore, you do what the hell you want. But it hit me on Friday. You know, watching the Eagles-Packers game on Friday, it hit me like a ton of bricks. You know, he had 3 touchdowns in that game. I'm sitting there saying, you MFers, man, you really let this guy go? And not just let this guy go. You committed to a guy that even 2 years ago when the Giants had a playoff year with a playoff win was on a he was and I can say this too because I said it in real time. You go back and look at the podcast from 2 years ago. It's on his feed in real time saying that Daniel Jones was not as good as you saw 2 years ago. That he was on the leash. That he had to be not just coached, but it was literally they played such safe football. And part of the reason why they were so good that year too, also, I want to be able to even get to the playoffs, let win a playoff game, was because of Saquon Barkley. And I get you don't want to tie up your salary cap with running backs. I totally get that. I agree with that for the record. I do. But you have running backs and you have Saquon Barkley. Massive difference. There's running backs and there's Saquon Barkley. There's Joe Mixon and there's Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is special. You pay for that. You have that, you pay for that. And the worst part is you got nothing for him. You got nothing for him. You know, I've tried to defend Joe Schoen in his front office. And for the record, I can't say I fully blame Joe Schoen for doing this because Daniel Jones wasn't really their guy. They didn't draft him. This is Dave Gettleman, honestly. Dave Gettleman gets the blame for this more than anything else. Dave Gettleman not only drafted Daniel Jones, but Dave Gettleman, not only did he draft Daniel Jones, he traded up for Daniel Jones. Let me repeat that, folks. Okay? Let me repeat that. David Gettleman not only drafted Daniel Jones in 2018 or 2019, whatever it was, not only did he draft Daniel Jones, he traded up for him. Which even then I'd said to everybody, why would you do that? This guy was going, and everybody was saying it too. This guy will be available later in the draft. Why waste draft assets to move for a guy that's going to be there anyway? It's amazing that 13 years later, and look, I joke around about this all the time, that this New York Giants franchise sold their soul to the devil to get those two titles against Tom Brady and the Patriots in 2007, 2011. And look, I'm grateful for those two championships. I've seen all 4, really 3, but the first one I was a little bit too young to really, appreciate the time. The 86 title, obviously 90, I appreciate it because I was first year watching football, and then 06, 07, and 11. So, yes, it was worth it, and I still look back fondly at those memories of those two teams. You know what I'm saying? But these last 13 years have been dreadful. They are arguably the worst team, the worst franchise in the last 13 years. Arguably, it can be argued. They've won a total of 1 playoff game, made 2 playoff appearances in those 13 years. Okay, 1 playoff win. This is a Giants franchise that's won 4 Super Bowls. What are we doing? What are we doing? So, at the end of the day, It is what it is. I know I had to say that. This is going to be one of the worst teams in football. And look, I knew coming to the year that this is going to be a bad year. I knew that. And we said, listen, let Daniel Jones air it out. Don't put him on a leash. You're paying him $40 million a year. If this is his last year at this team, let him go over the bang. Take off the leash. Let him sling it. If he fucks up, if he throws picks and all this kind of stuff, go right ahead. I'm good. But man, it's bad. It is bad. Okay, they're going to be Carolina Panthers bad this year. Okay, look out for that, fellow Giants fans. Sorry to break your personal bubble, but they're going to be really, 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 really bad this year. So,